Hello and welcome to a not so awesome review. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my filming setup, which is why the quality of this video isn't as good as usual, because I'm actually filming this on my old Canon PowerShot. Now I would love to film this on my actual Canon camcorder, the thing I used before what I currently use. Just I need a regular memory card for that to work, because it won't read micro SDs. This will for some reason, but the other one won't, and yeah, so I just wanted to put that out there on why the quality of this video is, I think, max going to be 720p, and it's not going to look great, but it's fine. I don't care. One big thing you guys should actually know before I get through this is just to keep this in mind. I've been doing this for like 5 years. And even before that, I love making random videos and cameras and stuff. So me getting better camera quality and audio and stuff is just because I don't want to say like, oh, I'm an enthusiast of this stuff, but I mean, I really like cameras. I've always have since I was like in middle school, even younger. I mean, we used to have like a family giant VCR camera. So I just want to put out there that, you know, always use what you got for your videos. The quality, yes, it matters, but as long as it's viewable, you shouldn't care. Same with the audio. As long as you can hear it, as long as you can understand everything that's going on, it doesn't really matter. I mean, if you go back to my earliest videos on here, you'll see that the quality really is not good at all. So I just wanted to put that out there, that don't be discouraged or be thinking, I need to buy like the exact same stuff I have or whatever to start a YouTube channel. No, use whatever you got. This Canon PowerShot right here actually was my main camera for reviews when I first started, I believe. So it was like a little Sony touch thing. They both have their ups and downs. This one, I believe, can white balance a lot better. The other one was really good quality, but could not white balance at all. The camcorder I used was really good for the most part, and the thing I use currently, which is my phone, which I have back here, that's definitely my best camera, though it does have its own issues, and I'll get into that. But yeah, I want to show you guys my setup, and I guess I'll go over more or less what I do when I do a review for these figures. And yeah, let's just get started. Okay, so first things first, I want to talk about the white background and how I kind of get the infinite white background. Now, of course, it doesn't look infinite right now. The lights aren't on or anything, but this is just a sheet of white fabric. You can get this at basically Walmart, Joann's, which I would recommend Joann's just because you can usually get about 50 to even 60% off a yard or single cut of any type of fabric. So this is 2 yards. It's actually, I have magnets hot glued to the wall, and I have it magnet to the wall so I can fold it up, and you know, that's how it stays up for me. That's the easiest way I could do it. The hot glue is a little bit difficult if you need to remove it from the wall, though you can heat it up and take it off and scrape it off. I'm just putting that out there. It is a little bit annoying to get it off of the wall. My fingernails, my hands, actually, I can feel it right now, the pain of having to remove it, because I've done it before. But yeah, I just want to put that out there, that it's magnetized to the wall. Weird word, I don't like that word, but it's magnetized to the wall. Yeah, so basically it's a sheet of white fabric coming down. It is curved a little bit. You don't have to have like a giant kind of curve or anything, just enough that it looks kind of like a nice little fluent thing going down. And I have a total of 6 lights. I have 3 on the top up here that you guys can't really see unless I do something like this. 3 lights, a can light, and these 2 desk lights. I wouldn't mind having 2 can lights. It's just I bought these 2 first, and then I bought this second. So the different lights I have, don't mind them. None of this is professional, by the way. All of this will cost you probably less than $100, give or take, depending on a few things. Kind of like this light I have here. This light is 25 bucks plus another 15 for the battery adapter, so it's plugged into the wall as opposed to running on batteries, which is definitely important for this because it eats batteries really fast, even rechargeable ones, and once they start to die, it starts in them. I would recommend getting the adapter right there. But yeah, I have all these can lights. All of these lights use regular light bulbs. My recommendation here is to always get daylight light bulbs at the highest wattage. I think it's lumens now because they're LEDs, but yeah, LEDs, daylight light bulbs. The reason you want daylight is because it tries to emulate daylight as best as it can, and daylight kind of gives you the clearest image. Incandescent bulb, fluorescent bulbs, all of those different ones can give you different tints. They can give you a blue tint or a yellow tint. Kind of what you typically get in your bedroom, I think, is usually like a little bit of a yellow tint. So if you're having issues kind of with that, that's probably why. One of the most important things is definitely getting those light bulbs. They're pretty cheap if you get the great value ones at Walmart. and they will last you a very long time. I don't think I've actually had to change any of my light bulbs since I've started using this setup, and that's been a pretty good while, so that's a good thing right there. This other light, again, it's not necessary. I could be using another can light, which, again, these lights, the can lights, I want to say run about $6, I think, somewhere around there. The two desktop lamps were around $12, but again, you don't need those. That's just what they happen to have. This is an LED panel light that I got on Amazon. Again, you don't need it, but it's actually the brightest light that I have. And you can see here, this camera isn't white balance good, so everything's coming off a little bit blue. But yeah, it's definitely really strong. It's stronger than all of these lights. You can definitely see the difference with this one. And I would love to upgrade to having just these lights kind of set up instead of having the other ones. But for cost-effective reasons, that's why I don't. And I don't really need it. I would like it because I think it would be better, but I don't need it. So yeah, just, you know, these are pretty cool. You can see the white balance went all crazy again. But yeah, so if I turn on the other lights, let's see actually how it affects everything. And having these positioned the right way is definitely important. Having one on the left back here, having this one on the right back here, having that one right there pointing at the back, and the other one doing the same thing, one going straight down, and the last one is the light off of my phone, which points straight forward. It gives me a nice clean look, and it helps kind of even out all the lighting, and it does give me that white background look. But one of the more important things here to get it is to have a camera or a phone, because like I said, I use my phone, which is, let me turn these off so you guys can kind of hopefully see so the thing isn't focused badly. There it is. It is an LG V30. Reason I got the LG V30 is actually because of the camera. It is dual lens. It does have the little LED right there. It's wide angle and regular. I don't use the wide angle as much as I would have thought I would have. I have a few times, but for the most part, I don't need it, but it definitely helps with the zooming. Let me unlock it here really quick and go to the camera app, which you guys can see here. Let me flip it around. The main reason I like this so much, and you don't need something this fancy. Most camcorders can do this, and a lot of the newer cameras can, but probably something to keep in mind is it has a full manual mode where I can change the shutter, so I can open it up so everything gets a little bit brighter. I can change the ISO, so again, I can make it darker or make it brighter as I need to. It does have autofocus and manual focus, which is really helpful, and the white balance, which again is definitely important if you want to have that infinite white background kind of look like I do. Aside from that, it's a decent phone, it's a decent camera, and I like it, though if I do movement, it does get a little bit wobbly. It does shoot in 4K, but for some reason, YouTube decided 4K rendering isn't going to be a thing anymore or something, because it hasn't been for a while, at least from what I've seen. So yeah, on top of that, I do use one of these camera mount adapters with a clip. The reason I use this is because my desk has like a small lip to it where I can clip this on to the desk like that, get my phone, put it in like so, and then just tighten the little thing up, and there we go. I have the phone attached to the desk. The reason that's important for me specifically, and the reason I would recommend something like this for you guys, especially if you're doing tabletop reviews like this, is because a tripod gets so annoying. You have no idea how many times I had to restart what I was filming because I bumped the tripod or moved the angle or whatever. I've done it so many times, just moving around trying to grab things, trying to reach my hands around the camera like that can get so annoying. This way I can have the thing right here. I do still have to go around it somewhat, but for the most part I can just reach around like so, grab whatever I need to do. Yeah, it works a lot easier, and I definitely recommend it. I got this on Amazon for, I want to say, less than 15 bucks, probably less than 10. They're not expensive, and it works. I actually originally got this so I could hang it upside down and point the camera down, because I have these attached to like a shelf that was built into this room, I guess, before we even moved into this house. But I ended up using it for like this purpose right here, and I love it. Definitely recommend it if you can. It does open wide a very good amount, so you can definitely get it on pretty thick tables, but it's not gonna fit on like your typical like kitchen counter table or something if it has like a fancy molding. Anyways, let's move on to how I actually do the reviews. Okay, so this isn't the best angle, but I don't have like a tripod hand on this tripod, and everything's a little bit wobbly, but it's fine, it's cool, I don't mind. I'm just showing you guys kind of my process here. Usually what I'll do, you know, I'll have all the lights on, everything will be as it usually is with the whole like infinite background and everything. But using this phone, one thing I did forget to mention is for the audio, sometimes I'll go off the phone because the phone actually does have a pretty good recorder there that again gives me control. But the main thing I use is this Zoom Handy Recorder H4n. You don't need this exact model. I like this one because you can plug in a few more things to it. It works. It's cool. It's awesome. It sounds good. Again, you don't need it. Syncing audio can be annoying. That's why they do the whole clap thing in like movies and stuff, is to sync the audio, which I clap at the beginning of every time I'm using this and the camera. The most annoying thing I've had there happen is me not noticing like the memory card getting full on the microphone. That's why in some videos you'll notice that towards the end of the review or something, the audio completely changes and doesn't sound as clear. It's because it's the memory card got full or something like that happened. But yeah, again, you don't need something fancy like that. I just have it because, well, I've been doing this for years and I acquired one at one point. You don't even need that exact same model. There's the Zoom. I don't know what the other one is, but it's like about $100. Pretty much the same quality. It's a voice recorder. I mean, go for it. Anyways, typically how I do these reviews is like, let's say I don't have these other Power Rangers behind there. I'm going to be doing a review on this Red Ranger, which is why it's here. Typically what I will do is I will take a picture of the box with my phone, front and back. That's usually the little intro thing of whatever I'm talking about when I'm reviewing. Those are just pictures. I will do the same thing with the accessories. You can see here he has the Dragon Dagger and he has the Power Sword. So what I'll do is I'll get a close-up picture of him holding the dagger, a close-up picture of him holding the sword. He also has the Blade Blaster, so I'll get a close-up picture of him holding the Blade Blaster. And maybe the holsters, they're not that big of a deal, but maybe I'll do that. So when I get to the part of the review where I'm talking about his accessories and everything, I'll have a slideshow going on that, so I don't have to sit here with the camera, hold it, and film it. That's what I used to do, and it always would come out shaky, and I didn't like it. So what I do now is a lot of pictures. Usually towards the end of the review, when you see the slideshow of the figure, you know, I do usually a top-down look. I'll zoom in so you guys can get most of the detail and stuff. Again, those are just pictures of the figure and a little slideshow moving around so you guys can see everything and it not be all shaky camera and stuff. So that's how I accomplish that. For the review, typically, I'll just have the figure out there. I'll talk about whatever I want, the articulation, the detail, any issues I may have with it. Then I'll move on to my size comparisons. In this case, it's going to be comparisons with, again, the Marvel Legend, typically, because that's what most people, I feel like, collect, or it's like a big thing anyway. Sometimes I'll throw in a Mezco figure in there, or a Figma, but that's really rare. It's usually just a Marvel Legend, and maybe some figures mixed in from the same line. In this case, the Red Ranger, the original release here, the metallic release, and the Green Ranger, because they are sharing the same kind of upper body mold, though there are differences between them. Even in color, there's actually differences between these, but I'll just have to wait for the review to see that. But it's really simple, really straightforward, which is one reason why I actually needed this break, the one I'm on currently, is because it got so repetitive, doing the same task over and over, kind of talking the same thing over and over. I needed a break, which is why you're seeing this video, because it's part of that break. But yeah, it's pretty simple. I'll take all my footage, put it on my laptop, edit everything together in Final Cut. Everything is done in different clips. My phone actually has a limit of about 12 minutes before it splits the clip in two, and unfortunately it loses a few seconds of video, so I always try to keep it under that amount of time for any given clip. Usually the first one, where I'm talking about the figure and showing the articulation and everything, that's usually the longest one. And I try to do that in one take, unlike this video where if I make a mistake or say something wrong or use the word way too much, I will cut that and kind of splice it together. Anytime I'm in front of the camera, I will usually cut that and splice it together so that it comes out sounding a little bit better. I don't love the jump cuts, but I see why that was kind of a big thing in YouTube and why a lot of people do it. It's just, it helps everything go on a lot smoother. But when I'm doing a review behind the camera, I try to get every clip done in one take. So typically if I mess up, I will restart whatever I'm saying. If it's been over 2 minutes, I'll usually just delete that video and start a new one and start recording there and go through the entire kind of thing as best I can. That usually isn't a bad thing. Usually if I do it once and I mess up or I don't like it and I do it again, the second time it'll actually come out a lot cleaner, a lot faster, and it typically is the better cut the second time around. So I'll do that. I'll stop the video, and then, you know, I'll get the figure, put it out here, put whatever figure next to him, push record, and then, you know, talk, okay, this is the size comparison between this, stop the video, put the other figure in, this is the side comparison with this, again, you know, cut the video, and then maybe go to my final thoughts and stuff. And that's typically most of the things I do there. At the end, I will usually include a slideshow, and that slideshow will vary in length depending on how much fun I have with that figure, because if it is a frustrating figure, I do not want to sit here and pose it a million times if it's not wanting to stand up, if it's being annoying. I've done it before with like the Lord Draken figure. He is very loose, but was so much fun to mess with, so I had to do it. But for the most part, like the Deadpool realization figure, I won't even do it if it's falling apart just from me touching it. I don't even want to mess with it. So again, slideshows at the end. I will even usually leave those till the next day or the same day that I am editing the video, just because it depends. If I'm doing a batch thing of videos at once, I'll do them all together. Like the Funko Pops, I'll usually try and take all the pictures right after I'm done filming. I'll do like 3 or 4 Funko Pops at a time, film them, take all the pictures, and put them all away so I'm already done and set. But for action figures, I'll either do them before I do the review, I'll take all the poses and stuff, or I'll do them after. The music, if you're wondering where I get that, that's just part of YouTube's library. It's just royalty-free music. You can just look it up there. And yeah, that's pretty much everything I got to say about that. So again, I guess that's pretty much all I have to say. I'm a little bit lower right now because I forgot to raise the legs on the tripod, but I really don't have much else to say here. I'm not going to go into like a full tutorial on how I edit all my videos and stuff. This was more of a overlook on how I film things, like just a look into my process and everything, the stuff I use. Again, all of it is relatively cheap. The can lights you can get at Walmart. I'm pretty sure Home Depot sells them for a very good price. The fabric, again, get it at Joann's if you have a Joann's. If not, a Walmart. It's just a regular fabric, kind of like a regular bed sheet fabric. Nothing fancy, nothing fluffy, nothing that will collect like too much lint or anything. Iron it out, definitely, so you guys get rid of the creases so they don't show up on camera, and try to keep it clean. And aside from that, I really don't have much else to say. I mean, again, the light bulbs, just make sure they're daylight. Try to get the brightest ones. Great value brand from Walmart, definitely work. And again, you don't need the best equipment. You don't need the best camera. You don't need the best audio. Yeah, it's cool to upgrade that over time, but if you're just starting out and you're trying to figure this out, and you're looking at this video and you're like, I want all that equipment, honestly, just go with what you have, because that's how I started. I'm making this video specifically because I had to figure this out as I went. I didn't know how to do the infinite background. I didn't even think about using the word infinite background on YouTube to look up like how to do that. I had to guess and figure it out on my own, because I don't know, for some reason I just couldn't think of that word. So if you're one of those people who never thought, yeah, that's what it's called, it's an infinite background, yeah, that's kind of how I was back then. So yeah, hopefully this helps out anyone starting out. Usually I don't ever see any of the bigger reviewers or anybody like that showing off their setup. It's why I'm doing this, because I know how annoying it was when I started, so hopefully this helps some of you. And yeah, I don't really have much else to say here other than I hope you guys enjoyed the video. More stuff will be coming, like the Red Ranger review and a few more figure reviews, and we'll see how getting back into it next month goes. It's about a week off now, so we'll see. But until then, thank you for watching, and goodbye.